We're now joined by our favorite author. He is the author of not only 85 books on your favorite bands, including the Rush trilogy, but he has the new release, Van Halen, a visual biography. And of course, he's already written the Unchained biography on Van Halen. Please welcome MartinPopoff.
Hey, how are you, Jay? Thanks for having me.
Doing great. Always exciting to see these books. You know, I always say, you know, the music is finite. There's only so many albums out there. The next best thing is to be able to dig deep, you know, with these photographers and an author like you who has such a passion, you know, for this music that we're always finding out something we didn't know about the band, or, you know, taking an insight into a certain part of their career that might been, you know, less talked about. So now this being, I know you've had the Thin Lizzy book and the Blue Oyster Cult book in a similar fashion. Tell us, obviously you had started this well before the passing of Edward Van Halen. I know people can't get enough of the Mighty Van Halen. What was your idea when you put the idea together for this one?
Well, I definitely, just like the other ones, I wanted to make it more than just a photography book. So that means a couple of things. One is I definitely wanted something to read in it. So what I've done with these three so far has been a 20,000 word timeline. Now I had a shorter timeline in the Unchained book, but this is a greatly expanded version of that. With a lot more kind of commentary and a lot of entries that I didn't have in that, just to really get granular with it. So there is some good, it's rock solid trivia basically throughout, although there are some introductory essays where I get to sort of make, have my opinion on things, and then a few quotes here and there throughout. But on the picture end, I also wanted this because there's been Van Halen coffee table books before, and books on a lot of big bands that are photography books, but they're almost usually just pictures of the band. I wanted this and all of these to really kind of geek out and have, 45 sleeves and backstage passes and ticket stubs, and definitely advertisements and promo pieces and all that kind of stuff. I love the ads. And the other thing I always like to do with these books is go into the side projects and the solo careers and stuff. So there's plenty of Sammy solo, there's plenty of Dave solo. And pictures of related things like Montrose, picture of the band Montrose, picture of the album cover, picture of the old Commodores album that's got the same train as a different kind of truth on it, right? Black Oak, Arkansas album cover, so stuff like that along the way that relates to the band. But yeah, definitely love the advertisements. So there's all kinds of little stuff, kind of like just pockmarked throughout on top of other pictures, and then just a lot of cool stuff. Some Rudy Childs, gave us some really cool kind of lifestyle things where you've got pictures of the crowd and stuff like that. So yeah, just a big grab bag. Hopefully, it's a little more than your average photo book.
Sounds exciting. Now, where do you find your sources for the trivia and the ads and all that?
Well, I have quite a big collection of my own stuff, but I've got a good network of photographers that I deal with, that have been through in a lot of my books. And I just checked with them, hey, you got any Van Halen? What years did you shoot? And you start kind of filling in the gaps and make sure that you capture everything. We've got the Gary Sharon era in there. We've got, Sammy Live and stuff like that. The last couple of tours as well. So fill in all the gaps, make sure you've more or less covered all the main eras of the band. And then at the end, Weimer, Jerry, boss at Weimer, at the end we usually do a little bit of a photo agency buy to fill in what's kind of missing and what we thought would kind of be nice, and that's sort of the procedure on all these things. But a lot of memorabilia. Memorabilia is not something that you have to get permission or rights to. It's just memorabilia. It falls under fair use, so you can find that kind of stuff on the internet as well. But obviously, photographers, you have to deal directly with the photographers unless it's an agency situation.
And the ads are just reprints from, say, the rock magazines or Billboard or things like that.
Yeah, and one of the cool things, I just love doing this. This is one of the funnest parts of my job that I ever had, and it's A bunch of years ago, a buddy of mine here had for sale. He's a kind of a mover, shaker, and runs the record shows in town and stuff, and buys up big collections and buys and sells. And I buy a lot from him. But I bought 550 copies. Where is it? 700? Because over 500 copies of old Melody Makers and Sounds and Record Mirror and all that. And it filled up 3 huge plastic tubs. And over the next couple of years, I would pull some out and just razor out what I wanted to keep. And I kept like 4,000 ads. I love the ads. I mean, I may even do a series of books that are just ads, maybe split by genre or something like that. Because the ads is my favorite thing, really, truly, in these things. But yeah, a lot of that. And then, I've always had Circus and Hit Parader and Cream, and you find those ads as well. So those are color. This is a color book, obviously. So it helps make it pop that way. But yeah, even throughout all my books that are mostly black and white, I love pockmarking in all those ads, because all the ones from those big UK, music weeklies, those are all black and white ads anyways. So it's, putting those in black and white books is perfectly fine. So.
Yeah, back in the day, in my 45 plus year career, I was the head of advertising and marketing for Cashbox, which was the rival to Billboard. And seeing those big, larger size, other than the Circus or Hit Parader, you got the large size format of Billboard and Cashbox. And yeah, Warner Brothers was great with their creative department with
dynamic. The neat thing about Cashbox and Billboard is you would get those inside industry ads, thanks to whatever, and they'd be thanking the touring agency or the label would be thanking Van Halen. They'd stick in some record sale numbers and stuff like that. So there, Billboard and Cashbox had some awesome ads, some totally different custom ones that you wouldn't see anywhere else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're thinking radio, they're thinking retail, they're actually, the concert promotion teams. Yeah. I mean, it's really that insight that, your average fan is not going to necessarily see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, why don't we take a look at some of your favorite pictures, in the latest Van Halen, a visual biography book?
All right, sure. Can do. So there's the front cover. Love that shot. That's a Rich Galbraith shot with, the rare guitar. This is the one that got buried with Dime when Dime from Pantera got at his funeral. And remember, Eddie showed up kind of by surprise there. But great shot of Eddie. I love the black and red, and it picks up. We decided, hey, the black and yellow. That's that color. And then I like when there is a photo like that where you can try to highlight in using the text. And pick up the color. So it makes a nice classy sort of color there. Right away, I write in the flyleaf or whatever it's called, like a really good old vintage shot of them just, kicking butt. Let's see what else we got here. Moving on. So from Kevin Estrada, who's this awesome photographer, who's a real insider with the band. This is like 1975 Los Angeles. There's Eddie wearing kind of an ankh, right? One of those cool Egyptian deals. And then moving ahead, we've got Rich Galbraith again, Tulsa, Oklahoma, with just a great action shot of, Dave dancing up a storm and Eddie just giving her there, right? All their youth and vitality, right? Moving on, we've got also Oklahoma, just a really cool Alex shot. Down there, you don't get the drummer too often looking great like that, and all those different drum sets Alex had, right? Cool stuff. And then moving up to Rudy Childs. You still there, Jay? I haven't lost you.
No, we're here.
Okay, good.
You never know.
We can lose a connection, right? So Rudy Childs is a buddy of mine. I went and proofed his just killer autobiography he's putting together. He was just a wild man getting into these shows and fighting everybody to take pictures and stuff. But so here he is back in 1980. Look at these awesome lifestyle crowd shots. That's his brother-in-law, I believe, Dave, on top of that Camaro. And this is like Capitol Center in Yeah, Largo, Maryland, 1980. So he shot the band a bunch of times just as a Renegade fan, and that's always cool stuff. And then we've got more from that same show, just great shots. But but I like these, you know, these waving at the end of a show shots are always kind of cool. Then, as I mentioned, I love the ads. I like this one. Well, they said anything could happen. The women and children first ad with the woman and child floating in the water with a lifesaver there. And there you see how we stick stuff on top of the ads just to, you know, use
Did you find the diver down that had like the waitress with the silver platter? Did you see that?
I don't think we do have that in here.
Oh my
and there's
gosh.
another really cool one we didn't put in here.
It was a play on, you know, we only serve it when it's time, like a fine wine kind of thing.
Oh,
There's a
cool.
big silver platter.
Yeah.
Poolside.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah, and there's another cool one I don't think we put in here which is the skeleton hand holding up the Van Halen logo, and I don't know how that one missed the grade, but we didn't get that in. So here's more Rudy Child shots, and this is just the crowd at Us Festival. I love this stuff. I've been telling Rudy, you know what, Rudy, you ought to do a whole book of just these cool crowd shots of people who go to these shows, right?
Yeah, I was at that show. It felt like it was 120 degrees, you know, with all those people packed in.
So was Kevin Estrada, and I don't think any shots of from him for here because I had enough Rudy. But and here's another great Rudy one of Sammy as a solo act with Brad Delp from Boston, you know, who left us all too soon, unfortunately. But that I thought was pretty cool to put in here. And then kind of quintessentials 90s sort of shot of you know, Sammy looking all like the big rock god, right? All in red there. Eddie possibly carrying a few extra pounds at this point. What year is this? 1992 in San Diego Sports Arena. So that is my buddy Tom Wallace. And then finally, the last one. I really like this one because Kevin says that this is David Lee Roth's favorite picture of himself. Kevin Estrada took this. So there's David with all his tattoos and stuff.
Yeah, cool. That's a rare view. I mean, he didn't have any of those tattoos in his early days. So to see that Japanese, you know, work that he had done in later years is pretty rare. Yeah,
so that's pretty cool. So like I say, Kevin said David loves that shot. It's his favorite picture of him, sort of thing. So there you go. There's a sampling.
And I understand there's 400 plus images. Over, what is it? 240 like pages.
When you take into account all the little stuff all over the place, yeah.
And where do you find the all the ticket stubs and all that? Is a lot of this your personal collection, or do you have sources for those?
A lot of friends, right? Everybody's seen Van Halen over the years, so a lot of them have kept that stuff. And I physically even borrow some of it from people in Toronto and my buddy John Cronus. But I have a bunch of that myself. I even, like, in some of my memorabilia buys over the years, I've even bought ticket stubs, like old ticket stubs, just to have, kind of thing. But yeah, most fans, you know, and a lot of these photographers, as sort of to remind themselves of the show they shot, that they'll even, with their photo collage that they send you, say they send a WeTransfer of it, we'll send the backstage pass and the ticket stub, just to you know, show what show it was from, kind of thing. So
yeah, that's kind of authenticate their experience, no doubt. Yeah, no, it's a peek inside, like I say, a super fan's, you know, desire to see more. You know, not many of them get access to, you know, the backstage and the you know, some of the special memorabilia that the insiders get.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, It was a lot of fun. I definitely love doing these books, and I love kind of applying that extra, you know, that extra super fans feel to the thing. Like, this is you know, the kind of collection that a super fan would pick up, rather than just pure live photography.
Yeah, well, we can't get enough of them. I know you're up to 85 plus books, and MartinPopoff is the website, MartinPopoff.com. Check that out. You know, some of these are limited edition, so you gotta get in early, and certainly, you know, be patient sometimes. What are you working on now that we can look forward to in the coming months?
Well, in the next about 10 days, I get a brand new, big, thick, very wordy Angel book, a book on the band Angel. So that's coming in. I called that The Fortune on the Rocks with Angel. So that's coming in. Like this Van Halen, I've finished one of these on Uriah Heep, and that's at the layout stage now. Tons and tons of great photography came in for that. And I've got a sweet book that I've got that I shelved to finish the Angel. I got all excited about the Angel one. So the sweet one's about 80% finished. And then the big one coming out is the final one of the Rush trilogy, Driven, Rush in the 90s and in the End. And that comes out late March, April 2021.
Now, of these coming books, how many are from the British publisher and how many are else?
Driven is from the Canadian publisher ECW. The Uriah Heep is from the British publisher Weimer. And Angel is one of my self-published ones. And kind of what I've been doing recently with the self-published ones is I do the whole thing myself. And then once I feel I've run its course with it as a self-published item, that's when I give it to Weimer, and then Weimer puts it out and then distributes it properly all over Europe, and America makes it available on Amazon. So a lot of books along the way go that way that used to be self-published too. So yeah, lots always coming through Weimer.
Right. So some you're more involved in than others. They're actually your distributor as opposed to the publisher, so to speak.
Yeah, well, they're a traditional publisher who does all that proper distribution. But when I'm self-publishing these things, like my Iron Maiden trilogy, I've got 3 Iron Maiden books, and they're only available through me. But they literally are an item that I receive big boxes here at the office. I sign them and ship them out. I don't put them through any other outlets at all. It's just literally at my website only as a mail order item. So I like doing that. It's like a little cottage industry thing.
Yeah, well, we can't get enough. It's so great these days to be able to dive deep and find out so much more. I know you've got your podcast. We see you on Sea of Tranquility with Pete Popoff or Pete Pardo, and lots of P's in here, and so much great stuff. Martin, we appreciate it, and you've graciously been a part of our Van Halen documentary, VH Forever. We appreciate all. Thank you so much. Go to MartinPopoff.com to get all your books, and we look forward to our next conversation.
Yes, thanks very much, Jay.